Alright, so this section of the video is going to be the actual rigging. So I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to have the shoulder bone. Alright, same thing over here. I'm going to grab the bone and extrude it and scale it by 0.25. Then extrude and put the selection to place. Then grab this on Y and move it over point. I think it was 0.1. And then down 0.05. Yeah, that looks symmetrical. So now that I've made the armature, I grab the skin and then do Control P with automatic weights to the armature. And then go to pose mode, or actually edit mode, and do add single bone, grab Z -1, grab Y 0.5. So I've made a control bone here that nothing's attached to. I'm going to grab the other bone and do Shift I, which is add IK. So now you can see the actor rigged, and it looks like the weight paint went really good actually. No bad deformations or stretchiness or anything like that. So we've made a rig. So I need to do that with the other bones now. Make an IK control bone. This is usually at the wrist because you still want to be able to manipulate the hand without IK, FK on the hand bone. So now we have two IK handles and we can dance. Dance if you want to. And then we could take these and change their level of influence so that they only go all the way up to the shoulder. And then I usually lock this bone or make it so that it barely moves at all to mimic a real shoulder. There's a little bit of an offset on your shoulder joint. In this case, I'll just limit it to like -5 and 5. So just a tiny bit of extra movement. This helps with not having shaking constraints. Alright. So now he should flex at the shoulder joint more than the rest, and then you can limit all these. To something kind of close to what a real human can do. And so now that arm is kind of set up. So this is how you rig an actor, is that you define their bone angle maximum and minimum rotations. And sometimes you have to paint weights, but if you build the model correctly and don't have anything too close to each other, you don't have to usually paint weights. I don't usually have to paint weights, actually. So there we go. There's two arms that are rigged, and you see they have some pretty nice deformation just kind of built in by the way that they're made that look like human muscles when they flex. We'll turn on the shading here so you can see that a little better. It's not perfect, but I made it in, let's see, 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes. So now we have this guy. We could take the IK off after a second here, because we don't need it, because this is going to be a ragdoll. But you still are going to need to animate an actor first to be able to get to the point where you need a ragdoll. So this is handy stuff. You can make IK handles in the feet too. Ooh, we had a problem here. My legs don't quite line up with the body. Or themselves, actually. That's what you get for working in one view angle. I probably should have had a second one open. Alright, that looks good. Should be okay. And again, I'm going to test the knee joint and set up the knee joint and all that stuff, so I'm going to need to set up IK for that. So I'm going to add another bone, grab -1 on Z, and then grab 0.5 out on Y. And then go to pose mode, grab the shin bone, Shift I to active bone. So there we go. And then I need to set the influence length. So now it won't affect his whole body, it'll just affect up to his pelvis. And then I need to lock this bone. And then limit this one. So now I'm going to set up the knee joint angle maximum. There we go. So there's one rigged leg. And again, pose mode, shift right click on the shin bone, shift I to active bone, and then influence limit, and then lock this, and then limit this. And you can always adjust these values later if they're too restrictive. But I've gotten good results out of that stuff, so. So now we got 2 rigged legs and 2 rigged hands, and we can dance. Do a German dance for you. All right, so that's set up. And then you can also do a focus target for the head, which is nice too, but we don't need any of that stuff because we're actually just going to make a ragdoll. So this is where I'm going to end this video.